So I was sitting in the middle of a Barnes & Noble cafe, clutching my eggnog frappuccino, staring blankly at the laptop screen in front of me, and trying desperately to come up with an introduction for this speech. Start off with a personal story, all my friends told me. Something that's happened to you in your past. So I tried that. I wrote, and I rewrote, and I rewrote. But no matter what I tried, none of the stories worked quite right. And so here I was. It was the night before the rehearsal. And I was like, crap. I have got to figure something out. And in a moment of exasperation, I decided to change all the rules about how you're supposed to start your speech. Here's what I came up with. I actually did decide to start off with a story, but not with the story you're expecting. Because this story isn't actually a real story. And this story isn't actually about me. This is a story about you. And this story takes place in the future. Now, not too far in the future, mind you. It's the year 2013. And so you're walking through the mall with your friends, doing a little shopping, and all this shopping is making you completely tired and hot and thirsty. And so when you see a smoothie shop in the corner, you're like, oh man, I could really go for a Bananarama smoothie. So you go over to the counter, you order your smoothie, and you hand the cashier a $20 bill. And she's like, hi! She's wearing these really weird glasses. Excuse me, but you're gonna have to pay for that with some moola. You mean moola? You shove your $20 bill back toward her another time. No, not moolah. Moolah. You just stand there for a minute, dumbfounded, like, what the flying finfish is going on? You mean you haven't heard of moolah? It's like the new form of currency. You can't just pay with dollars. You have to move. You have to take action to pay for your smoothie. And today's moolah payment is 23 push-ups. Push-ups? Well, yeah. I mean, you've been wanting to build your bicep strength lately, haven't you? Yes. But I haven't actually done anything about it. I've just been sitting on my couch like I always do. Exactly. Paying with moolah helps you become the person you really want to become. That strong, powerful person that's within you. Okay. So you drop down on the floor and you give her 23. Now, what if I told you guys that this wasn't just some weirdo futuristic vision, it wasn't just some made-up story, but that moolah was actually real? What if stories kind of like this were happening to people just like you as we speak? My name's Therese Schwenkler, and I'm a crazy chef. Now, don't misinterpret that. I don't mean I actually cook real food, like in a kitchen or anything like that. What I mean is I'm a questioner of recipes. There's a quote I really like by Therese, and it goes like this. If everyone is solving a problem one way, or defining a problem one way, and the results are subpar, this is the time to ask, what if I did the opposite? Don't follow a model that doesn't work. If the recipe sucks, it doesn't matter how good of a cook you are. I believe in asking questions, in challenging assumptions, in asking, is this recipe working as it should? Are these cookies coming out of the oven tasting chocolatey and delicious? Or are they coming out tasting like cardboard? And the sad thing is maybe we've just gotten used to the way that cardboard tastes. So is this recipe working as it should? And if the answer is no, how can we innovate? How can we invent a new way? How can we try something new? And that was exactly the question I asked that led me to come up with moola, the world's newest form of currency. So a little background information. I write a website called The Unlost. And what I do is I help people find their way. I provide non-sucky advice on life, love, and work. But I wanted to do so much more than just put my best advice out there to the world and send people on their way and wish them the best. I wanted to actually help people make real changes in their life. And to be honest, the current recipe for putting wisdom and advice out there to the world, I don't know, it might be tasting a little bit cardboardy. Because that recipe is, so you throw in a little bit of knowledge, maybe in the form of a book or a class, right? Or maybe it's a blog post. And you mix in some willpower. And what's supposed to come out of the oven? Personal change. The only problem is, guys, is this recipe fails more often than it works. And I know this from personal experience, right? I can't tell you how many times I've read awesome, mind-blowing books, and I've been like, that book was great! I'm totally going to change my life. And, 5 minutes later, I was sitting on the couch watching the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And 5 months later, I still hadn't changed a thing. And so the recipe of knowledge plus willpower, I don't think it's working as well as it could be. So I put on my crazy chef hat and I said, why don't I try making all my products payable in full or in part with moola? Now, here's an example of how that works. So one of my products is an online course that helps people answer the question of what should I do with my life? It helps people explore their truest career path. And people have the option of paying for half of the course with moola. And so what happens is as people go through the course, they have to take action on the homework assignments with each module. And then what they do is they go back to the course website, they describe the action that they took in an online form, and then when they submit that, that triggers their access to the subsequent module. And so people come into the course feeling really lost, having no clue what they want to do with their lives or how to start figuring it out. And they leave the class not just with knowledge and concepts, but with the confidence and the momentum that comes from actually having gone out into the world and taken action on these concepts that they've learned. So moola is still an experiment, I'm still figuring out what works and what doesn't. Although I think that's just life, right? But I'm really excited so far about how it's been going. I think it's something that could be really cool. I want every one of you to become crazy chefs. I want you to question the recipes. Question the recipes in your personal life, in your relationships, and in the world around you. What rules do you live by? What assumptions are in place in this great big world in which you live? Do you know why they're in place? How do your cookies taste? And are the rules that are in place, are they serving the greater good? Are they working as they should be? Right? Ask questions. Challenge assumptions. Open your eyes. If the rules aren't working for you, bend them. If the way you're supposed to start your speech isn't working for you, try something new. If the box of the way things are and the way things are supposed to be is getting really dark and cramped and crowded, get outside the box. Have the courage to experiment, to try something new, to write a new recipe. Because if you have the courage to ask questions about the world around you and to try something new, maybe even a little bit crazy, then you never know. You might just change the world.